Thank you so much, Ahmed. A very good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all here joining us in the very first kickoff of the Oman Climate Dialogues for this year of 2023. I'll just give you a bit of a background of why we actually, ESO and Asiyat came up with the Oman Climate Dialogues. The main reason behind that is we've seen that there's a lot of uptake on sustainability events and everyone's talking about energy transition and sustainability, but for many of these discussions, we're missing out the element of what is actually happening currently when it comes to the climate in Oman. We're talking a lot about the future, but not about the current. So we thought it's a good way to kind of fill in that gap and kind of spread awareness as well when it comes to what is the current status when it comes to the climate in Oman. So hence this program, these dialogues. In general, we have 4 panel sessions that are going to be happening throughout the year. The first one is this month, and then we have another one in June, another one in August, and another one in November. You can find all the details on the Oman Climate Dialogue website that is on Asiyad's and ESO's social media accounts. You can find more details on that. In addition to that, we've decided as well to do what we like to call climate clinics, which are dedicated workshops for specific target groups. One will actually be talking about how to run a sustainable event, how to minimize as much as possible your carbon footprint when it comes to plastic and whatnot when you run an event. The second one will be targeting specifically the youth and will be happening during Omani Youth Day, where we're talking about green jobs and how young people can capitalize on the opportunity of the availability of green jobs that are coming for sure. And the last one will be tackling sustainable finance, specifically looking at the financing sector and how we can actually increase that discussion when it comes to funding and green funding. And then the culmination of all of this will be a white paper that we hopefully are going to be submitting into the Oman COP28 team with all the hopes, dreams, and apprehensions of all of you and all of us when we are talking about these discussions, with the hope that that will hopefully help in informing the COP28 team as they head into the negotiations of COP28. And that's how we're trying our level best to kind of get impact from the work that we're doing here in the Oman Climate Dialogues. With that said, we're going to be kickstarting with the very first one with our esteemed panel. It has been an honor and also a bit of a struggle to actually get our panelists to agree to speak to this because of their busy schedules, but we're very honored to have Ambassador Dr. Adnan Al-Azri here joining us, the chairperson of the CLCS Commission at the United Nations, and as well Professor Yassine Sharabi, who is really a professor and a thought leader when it comes to atmospheric science and the environment, specifically when it comes to modeling and climate adaptation and mitigation when we take Oman into the context as well. And that will mean that we're kickstarting our session and our panel discussion where we're going to be discussing about the climate impacts that we're subjected to here in Oman. So be it temperature, be it sea level rise, be it cyclones that we're actually getting pretty much on average twice a year now, according to facts that we're getting from the World Bank and UNFCCC. We tend to assume, because we're seeing it, that we know about the Oman's climate status, but the fact is many of us actually don't. So when it comes to the atmospheric side of things, Professor Yassine, what is currently the status? What can we say about Oman's climate right now?
Before answering this question, just I'm gonna answer why, if you stop now, sorry.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, just it's a quick answer because I was involved in the 5th assessment report and I wrote this question. We have what we call FAQ, frequently asked question. If we stop now the emission of greenhouse gas emission, if the climate will change or not. No, because the climate is governed by atmospheric process, which is very, very slow. It means if we stop now, at least we have another 100 years in order to incorporate this slowness of emission in order to see a reduction of temperature or stabilization of the climate. But to answer this question, your question regarding the status of the climate in Oman, we would like to answer, before answering this question, we need to mention what happened at